Shocked. Jamie Dornan divorced Amelia. The reason is still being kept secret. A morning unlike any other. The news broke when the world least expected it. 7 a.m. on a Monday morning, London. In apartments that smelled of freshly brewed coffee, phones buzzed constantly, the screen flashing the same message over and over. Breaking. Jamie Dornan and Amelia Warner officially divorce, reason kept secret. In a few minutes, everything slipped out of its peaceful orbit. Jamie was sitting alone on a wooden chair in the kitchen. On the table was a cold cup of tea, the wedding ring placed next to it, as quiet as a full stop no one wanted to write. His lawyer had sent him the final copy of the divorce decree last night. Amelia had signed. He had signed. All the paperwork was done. No fireworks. No public tears. Just a cold click from the law office scanner. Outside the door, the world was going crazy over a breakup that no one understood. Inside the house, Jamie felt like the only one who knew. The silence was the scariest thing. The media exploded. Every headline was a question. Less than an hour later, the entertainment news sites changed their banners. Shock in Hollywood. Jamie Dornan and Amelia Warner split after years together. Divorce confirmed, but why is everyone so quiet? Something doesn't add up. Jamie Amelia's mysterious breakup. Analysts appeared on talk shows. Those who had criticized Jamie for being too secretive now blamed him for being too quiet. There must be something big, one host said, his eyes lighting up as if he smelled blood. Is there a third person? Another commentator added. Or is it the pressure from recent projects? Nobody knows. But everyone guesses. And that makes it worse. Amelia disappears from sight, Jamie becomes the target. After a brief statement from her lawyer, just one cold sentence. Jamie Dornan and Amelia Warner have amicably decided to dissolve their marriage. They ask for privacy. Amelia disappears from the media radar. No Instagram, no ambiguous story, no sad photo by the window with a cryptic caption. People only know that she has moved out of the shared house, taking a few belongings, and that her 3 children are her only priority. And Jamie? He becomes the central target. Paparazzi block in front of his house day and night. He steps out to take out the trash, they photograph. He goes to the supermarket to buy milk, they photograph. He is silent, they interpret. Online, fans are divided. First faction, he definitely has his reasons. Jamie never does drama. Second faction, men, silence is a sin. And in the middle of that battle, the only one who knows the truth, Jamie, decides to keep it to himself. The last night in the old house. The last night before the official papers took effect, Jamie and Amelia sat in the living room, no lawyers, no third parties, just the two of them and memories spanning more than 10 years. No arguments. No broken furniture. No, you betrayed me, or, I don't understand you. Just a very deep, very real weariness. We can stop here. Amelia was the first to speak. Her voice was hoarse from holding back, not from shouting. I know, Jamie replied, looking down at her hands. He knew it a long time ago. They drifted apart, not because they no longer loved each other, but because each was struggling with internal battles that the other was not strong enough to enter. There are secrets that do not belong to scandals. There are secrets that are just private pain, the kind of pain that, if put in the newspaper, would be distorted to the point of being unrecognizable. I don't want the reason to be turned into a topic of discussion. Amelia added, her eyes brimming with tears. I promise. Jamie looked up. I won't let anyone tear it apart to make content. That was his final promise as husband. Cruel hypotheses. On forums, the hunt for the real reason has become a new pastime. An anonymous username posted, "My friend works on the film crew. I heard Jamie has secretly loved someone else for a long time." The evidence? A blurry photo, an indifferent glance, a few half-cut messages. Another account asserted, "Amelia is the one who wants to leave. She can't stand Jamie's shadow anymore." No one knows anything. But everyone calls themselves close sources. Unfortunately, what they call the truth is the only thing that doesn't exist in the hundreds of threads being shared. Jamie's inner mind, the price of silence. Jamie sat on the sofa, the TV screen on, but no one was watching. He scrolled through the news stories that featured him. Each headline was a stab. Jamie Dornan's secret lover? Was Amelia tired of living in his shadow? Inside the crumbling marriage no one saw coming. He could fix everything with a single interview. He could talk about the nights Amelia lay beside him, lonely, because he was stuck between flights and fake laughs and tears. He could confess that he, too, had felt alienated in his own home, like an actor lost in someone else's stage. He could say it all. But if he did, he would be betraying something deeper than a marriage, his last respect for the woman he loved. "I'll let them think whatever they want," Jamie whispered, turning off the phone. "As long as you don't have to be the main character in a story you didn't want to tell." Amelia on the other side was silent. In a rented apartment in a quiet neighborhood, Amelia sat on the living room floor, surrounded by cardboard boxes and her children's toys. She turned on the TV, then off. She turned on her phone, then turned it face down. She saw her name float by on the news ticker at the bottom of the screen, like a line about someone else. Amelia didn't hate Jamie. She didn't see herself as a victim, either. There had simply been a moment in recent years when she'd looked in the mirror and not recognized the woman in it. She was his wife, the mother of their children, the keeper of the home, but not the Amelia she'd once been. She'd tried to tell him. He'd listened, but the other half of him, the half that was preoccupied with the next shoot, the next script, the next news, hadn't followed her words. "We're not wrong," she'd told Jamie. "We're just not ourselves. Will the press understand that reason? Or will they turn it into, Amelia left Jamie because of her artistic ego?" Better to be silent. People waited for a break, but it didn't come. For weeks, the media waited. A photo of Jamie with a new woman. A status hinted by Amelia. A accidental sharing from friends of both. But nothing. Jamie didn't appear hand in hand with anyone. He went to the set, worked, went home, visited the children, then disappeared behind the door. Amelia didn't release a memoir of accusation or a tearful talk show. She quietly continued to compose, take care of the children, and learn to live alone without feeling lacking. In an era where every drama needs a climax, people are uncomfortable with a divorce story without a villain, without an affair, without a leaked recording. But that's the truth. And the truth, it turns out, is less popular than one might think. The first interview, and the way he didn't answer, shocked everyone. Finally, Jamie agreed to participate in a big interview program. He couldn't avoid it forever. His new movie needed promoting, and he couldn't keep himself from personal questions. The host beat around the bush, then came the thing the audience was waiting for. "Jamie, we all know about you and Amelia. Can you share anything about the real reason?" The whole studio was silent. The world out there was waiting for him to defend himself, to tell himself, to justify himself. Jamie closed his eyes for a second, as if to filter out everything he wanted to say. Then he answered, his voice so calm it was heartbreaking. "The only thing I can say is, we loved each other very much. And we still respected each other enough not to make the end of the story into entertainment." The host was a little confused. You mean, there will never be a fuller version for the public? Jamie smiled, but there was something very tired in his eyes. There are reasons that only belong to two people. If you share them, they will no longer be the truth, but just a version that has been edited to suit everyone's expectations. Online, in a few seconds, everything exploded. He dodged the question. Or is the real reason too dark? Or is he's protecting her? And for the first time, a large part of the audience realized. Maybe we don't have the right to demand everything. Dakota, rare and sober words. Inevitably, Dakota Johnson's name was also dragged into the whirlpool of speculation, as always when people need an imaginary third person. When a reporter asked directly at the press conference, Dakota, someone is talking about the connection between Jamie's divorce and the special relationship you two had back then. What do you think? Dakota laughed, not a happy laugh, but the kind of laugh you get when you're tired of the absurdity of the world. I think people love their own story more than other people's truth. Then she added, softly but sharply, I respect Amelia. I respect Jamie. If they choose to keep their reasons quiet, maybe the kindest thing we can do is let them keep them. The tweet that quoted that quote immediately went viral. People love their own story more than other people's truth. Dakota Johnson. And within hours, the storm of comments shifted to a different tone, thoughtful, then silent. The real reason, only mentioned in a room, off camera. One evening, in a small cafe in Ireland, Jamie and Amelia met again to hand over the children after a weekend. No paparazzi. No journalists. Just two people who used to live under the same roof, now facing each other like two chapters turned over. The children ran inside first, leaving a brief moment with just them and a space between past and present. Are they okay? Jamie asked. Amelia nodded. They're better than we are right now, she said half-jokingly. He chuckled. Do you ever think there will come a time when I'll have to tell you why? She was silent for a moment, then said, maybe, but I hope when you do, it's not to quell the rumors, it's because you feel you need to tell your own story. He looked at her. And what about you? Amelia shrugged. I chose to keep it to myself. Not because I was afraid, but because there are some pains that if you say them in public, they will be distorted. I don't want the best part of us to be turned into a meme. They didn't hug. No crying. No if-onlys. There was just a strange piece of acceptance between two people that they were each other's home. Now each of them built a new home, but the memories weren't for sale. The reason, not for the press, only for those who have loved. The truth is, there was no spectacular shock. There was no betrayal. There was no third person, no secret contract, no hidden scandal. The reason Jamie and Amelia divorced was less dramatic, but far more painful. They had tried so hard to maintain a perfect image, for the public, for their children, for each other, that they no longer recognized who they were. No one was a villain. No one was a victim. Just two people who had held hands and run through storms, now stopped because they realized that if they continued holding hands and were no longer themselves, they would drag each other down to the bottom. That was the reason. A reason so subtle, so real, so human, that it was not suitable to be a hot headline. So, they both chose. Let the world guess. Let the press create cheap scenarios. Let the internet debate to its heart's content. And they, and only they, keep the last little box in their hearts, where they keep the soft and quiet truth about the best days gone by, and about the real reason why they let go. And so, in a world thirsty for scandal, the shock Jamie Dornan divorced Amelia Divorce is still something that no one can fully decipher. The reason is still kept secret. Not because it is too dark, but because sometimes the most sincere things are not born to be shared with the whole world. They are only born to live in the hearts of those who have been there.